What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Kennel, where we discuss the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs and their continued failings. But before we get into any of that today, I just want to wish everybody a Ramadan Mubarak to all that are celebrating. I ask Allah to make this month one of prosperity, growth, and blessing for all. And as ever, I'd love to welcome back my trusty co-host, Dib. Welcome back, Dibbo.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Owen.
Owen what?
Owen the Saints. Go marching in. You fell for that one, did you?
Well done.
Did you know it was coming?
Nah, honestly, I had no idea. That's good.
Owen what? Owen who, man?
Owen who? Whatever, bro.
Jeez.
Whatever. You got to your rubbish anyway. You beat an understrength Titans team. Well
Top
done.
of the league. Top
Yeah.
of the league.
Yeah, all right, man.
For
Well
about
done.
5 minutes, but yeah.
Come on, man. You beat an understrength Titans team.
Look, all they were missing was really foreign,
Yeah, foreign. They had who else? Jaden Campbell, David Fafita.
Oh, we beat them last year with them.
Oh,
it's all
come
good.
on.
I think the Titans are just overrated.
Now, before we go on, I just want to say, if you guys want to make our Ramadan special, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, as that greatly helps us to continue to produce content and bring you more of this stuff. So please, if you like what you see, please press subscribe and also like this video, so we can continue to produce content. Now, onto the doggies. Round 1, season 2024 against the Parramatta Eels. Now, before I give my verdict and before I say what I say, because I'm going to have a bit of a rant, and it's not at the club. I just want you to tell me in maybe 60 seconds or less, what did you think? As an outsider whose team performed well.
Yeah, I just thought they got no forwards. They're lacking. They couldn't compete with Parramatta's forwards. The effort was there, but just no forwards, no grunt, really. I mean, yeah, all right, you got a good second row partnership, but after them, who replaces them? Like, if you want to get me stuck on the front row, there's no one really there that, even your starters, no one. Like your bench, it's a bad rotation. Yeah, a lot of utilities in that lineup. If you look at Parramatta's back bench, there was 4 boppers on there, basically. So, I mean, your efforts were there, but
Brendan Haynes isn't a bopper, let's be honest.
yeah, but he plays well above his weight. He complements the other big boys. They had Paulo on the bench.
Yeah, it was a good start. It was a good start.
They had Madison and who was the?
I think it was William McGregor.
Yeah, look at them, 3 giants. I mean, Cartwright, yeah, he was putting on your forwards. Sorry to say. I mean, you might disagree with it, but we can sit down and watch the game again. But Bryce Cartwright was showing aggression against your team in that first 20 minutes, if you remember. He was made.
I said 60 seconds or less, yeah.
Sorry, Sterlo. Sorry, Sterlo. Anyway,
because and look, a lot of people are not gonna like what I have to say. Right? I think a lot of the fans are not going to like what I have to say. But I think the fans are overreacting after round 1.
Oh, it's only round 1. You're right. Yeah.
The fans are heavily overreacting after round 1. Because from a doggy's point of view, what I saw was that last year we would have probably bent over and copped 50 points by the Eels. We probably would have suffered an extra 1 or 2 injuries, and we would have just been down in the dumps and deflated. We wouldn't have come back. We wouldn't have won the last 20 minutes. I know the coach, still has a lot of question marks around him. But I thought, we were able to essentially keep up with the Parramatta Eels, who have one of the best forward packs and the best spines in the game, for a good portion of that game. Their last try was, a fatigue try where, it can happen to any team. But really, if you look at it, right, it was 4 tries to 2. If you want to be very, very honest, it was 4 tries to 2. We had the same number of line breaks as they did, right? Our forwards weren't vastly overpowered in terms of run meters either. Like, they were only making less than a meter more per set on average than we were, right? It was the offloads that we couldn't handle.
Well, I'll say it now. I mean, I don't think Parramatta's going to set the competition alight this year either. I thought they were nothing special as well, but
I thought they played really well.
The fact they were converting their tries, keeping possession, showing more aggression.
90% completion rate, whereas we only had a 60% completion rate.
You guys. I'm expecting a significant improvement from Canterbury this week. I hope they can knock over those overhyped, overinflated fish from the south, the Sharks. So
Listen, leave your Dragons feud at the door. This is a doggies podcast.
It's a doggies feud as well, mate.
It's not, man. We don't care about the Sharks. No one cares about the Sharks except the Dragons.
Oh, I don't know, man. Back in 05, he's all driving over that bridge, and yeah. Anyways,
that's more Cronulla than it is the Sharks. But I think we've made peace with that now. But we held them out for a good portion of the game. And you would think we'd make 50, 60 missed tackles as we would last year, but we only made, 25 to 28 missed tackles depending on which NRL statistics site you have a look at. So, considering that our forward pack is so much smaller, honestly, I didn't think we were...
You want that punch, though. You don't want to...
No, I'm with you. We know we have deficiencies. We've spoken about it ad nauseum. But what I'm saying is, fans are overreacting. The Doggies fans, I think, are, strongly overreacting where... they want wholesale changes made to the team. They want everybody sacked. Time for Saralda. Look, at the end of the day, whichever coach that comes in is still going to need time to build the team. He's still going to need time to build the relationships, to build a team that's going to function well. And before anyone says, look at Shane Flanagan and the Dragons. Look, they played against a horrible Titans team, right? And they've got a world-class number 7 that can carry the team, that can push the team around.
They got an experienced coach who's won the premiership. He's a hard head.
There's no real comparison.
I wouldn't say he's exactly building a team up again. If you think about it, look at their lineup. A lot of those guys are already established. I know they were very poor last year and the year before that, and probably the year before that. Well, the last 3 or 4 years. Let's be frank and honest. But a lot of those players got experience. If you think about it. Cameron's Saraldo's really up against it. He's a rookie coach with a lot of inexperienced players. He's changed a lot of personnel. So Canterbury fans just got to understand the magnitude of how difficult his task is. I'm sure a lot of other coaches in the same position would probably be doing a lot worse than he is. It's just a hard situation. Look, he's got his 1 to 5 set. Just got to work out his halves, and I think you just got to get those big boppers lined up. Whether it's going to come for the juniors in the next year or two, or he needs to go on a recruitment run for big forwards. That's all.
Yeah, look again.
I know. There was an interesting stat that came out on the weekend. If Peter Vlandis highlighted it. I think 97% of the clubs, or whatever it is, 90% of the clubs think other clubs are cheating in terms of third-party payments. And I totally agree. Like, there's some clubs out there, Cronulla, that have stacked forward lineups and don't seem to lose any. Like, Hazelton, Hamanueli, Royce Hunt, Finucane.
Now Adam Fanua-Blake.
And they got some of those young... And then they signed Fanua-Blake. So that tells me... I know they're still losing Ueli, but come on, man.
They're not losing him. They re-signed him till 2027.
They didn't go to the Warriors.
No.
Well, there you go. That's surely them bending... it's surely one of the... there you go. There's some club... Newcastle's got a stacked lineup of forwards. How do they not lose forwards? It's crazy. There is no way those guys are all on 150 or 200. Some of those forwards, I look at them and think... That'd be a minimum 300, 350. Like, they got some great forwards. Both clubs are just named. Like, I wouldn't be giving Hazelton 150, that big giant bobber. Nah, I'd have him at least $250,000.
He's a big boy and runs hard. But...
And that's made it, clubs bending the rules have made it hard for others to, benefit from what the salary cap is there, for, basically.
The one thing that I think, from the game against the Eels that Saralda needs to figure out very, very quickly is Burton. I think as a number 6, right, you can't, and he's getting paid so much money. He can't sit in that left corridor and just kick. He just can't. If he wants to sit in that left corridor, go to the center. But if he's going to be a number 6, he's got to make more of an attempt. He's got to put more energy into his games. He needs to be combining with his number 6, with his number 7 a lot more often. He needs to be playing both sides of the ruck. He needs to be running. I don't see anything other than kicks. That's literally the only time Burton's name was mentioned. It's just not good enough. Like if that's the type of play we're going to get out of Burton, then it may be better for the team that we throw him back at centre, regardless of what he wants, and then bring Sexton to 7, move Hutchison to 6, or maybe even try
Blake Taff at 6.
Blake Taff at 6, have Critter at fullback.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Right? Because at the end of the day, like I believe in Burton's potential, but it's just as a Doggy supporter, everything else can be worked on. But Burton, you know, it's one of those criticisms that I think a lot of people have, and I think it's one of those fair criticisms, right? That Burton needs to do more. For the amount of money that he's getting paid, for the position that he's being given, for the privilege that he has, he needs to be doing...
He's a marquee player. Expect more out of him.
He's doing very, very little at the moment.
To be a marquee, yeah.
And if he's going to wait for the 7, you know, for a number 7 to come pick him up and unlock his game, I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. Not at the Bulldogs anyway. Right? He needs to, you know, like, because the thing is as well, it's the same type of kick all the time. It's not like, you know, he's not like he's varying his kicks. It's not like he's trying
those humongous skyscrapers he puts up and just let the aerodynamics and gravity do the rest. Yeah, why doesn't he always do that?
Because we need more
Those
from him.
Kicks are amazing.
They are, but it's not always going to come off. It's not always going to be the perfect kick. It's not always in position to happen. Sometimes we're going to need short kicks, low kicks, you know, vary it across. You know, there's just none of that creativity
I agree
on
with
fifth tackle.
100% agree with what you just said. But when he puts them up, a lot of times he just puts them up in like subdued manner. It feels like, you know. Put up that skyscraper if he's going to put it up. The rest, I agree. If he needs a cross kick, a low kick, a chip kick, yeah, of course.
Or throw a pass, like for example, he's got, you know, we saw only one, you know, there was only one time where we actually went to the left where kick out combined with Critter.
Yeah.
One time, and we got a try.
Not enough, yeah.
One time.
Not
you send the ball
enough.
down there, you send the ball down that way 10, 15 times a game, I guarantee you're getting 3 or 4 tries.
Ball,
yeah.
It's
just not feasible, and that's Burton's role, is to get the ball, to kick out to Critter, and you know, to Fox before he got injured, but now, you know, Connor Tracy. So it's just one of those things there, you know.
Did Cartwright end up getting charged or not? Let off
for
that shoulder charge?
I
thought it was a fine tackle.
It was. He didn't get charged. Wasn't?
Oh, good.
Yeah, he didn't get charged. You know, Kick out got charged for trying to. He lunged with his leg while the player was going for the ball.
He's playing though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he should be all right.
Yep, good.
No changes from last week's team other than Connor Tracy comes straight in for Fox.
Oh yeah, Connor Tracy.
Yeah,
he's a busy sort of player. So
he's very quick, busy.
Yeah, he's busy. He can add a bit of ball work dimension to as well to the team. I know he's on the flank, but
again, like after the Eels game, sure, our forwards need to improve, and they will. We've got some young players in Sam Hughes, you know, Pawasa, Famasuli, but
I thought Sam Hughes in stages looked good. Especially there was that one return he got from the in-goal. He ended up having it stripped, but then they ended up calling it back. I mean, you know, he's a big boy. He's got a lot of potential. I thought he was good in stages.
I agree.
Just needed more from him. I'd like to see him get more game time as well.
I think Pawasa Famasuli needed more time as well. Only played 19 minutes.
Not a good rotation. That's why I still think. You
know what though? Curran, wow. Fantastic for us. Great buy. Kurtman, I thought, played very well. Yeah, he added a lot when he came on. Yeah. Jamin Salmon, not so much, I have to admit.
Back to reserve grade, mate.
Look, he
make those tough calls.
It was good that he played, you know, centre for us when Josh Adokar came off, but
you want specialist players for their positions, you know.
I guess it sort of shows to us exactly the difference between a pre-season challenge trial and, you know, NRL Premiership.
Yep.
And I guess you saw that in Jamin Salmon. I don't think he was able to provide the same attacking play that he did in the trials. But I will say that it's just the first round.
We'll wait till about round 4, round 6.
Yeah, I think judgment. 6 to 8.
Yeah,
you know, after I think our first buy is round 8, and I think by then we should have a good approximation of where everybody's sitting. But yeah, like I just thought, reading all the comments by the fans, reading all the stuff that's been said, people are overreacting way too quickly. Like I think, like as a coach, you'll be disappointed with the scoreline,
Yep.
but you've got to admit, like, from where we were last year to what we saw against the Eels on there was good. If we're still doing the same thing in round 6,
We'll let Elmo go off on this podcast, you know.
And believe me, I don't hold back, right? But it's got to be, you've got to understand it's round 1. You've got 7 new players in the team, 7 new players. Like, you add that to any team, and they're gonna take a while to gel. Like, I remember we were having this discussion when, for example, Cooper Cronk joined the Roosters in 2018.
Yep.
I remember they were poor until about round 10.
Yeah, it took a time to get used to him.
You know what I mean? That it just took them time.
They got smashed by the Dragons that year in the Anzac match, I remember.
That's right.
And Cronk got absolutely brutalised by Tariq Sims, I remember.
And
Good shout. Yeah.
it's going to take time, and I think
They were ordinary. You're on the money.
we've got a new fullback, a new 7, right? A new centre. We've got two new props essentially. So a new lock. All these very important positions are going to take time until they create those combinations, until they start figuring out how to play. And you know what? Like, we showed 2 or 3 times in that game that if we put ourselves in good position, we actually have the attack, we have the slick backline plays, and we have the X factors like the kick outs and the critters and the Blake Taffs to pull off some really, really good moves. Honestly, you've got to recognize that it's not always going to be top 8 from round 1. I know that we've had a shit go of it, but the type of reactions have just been ridiculous.
I'll tell you what I like to see. And he's got those plays, but remember the Dogs forward pack was always known as Dogs of War.
Yeah.
Honestly, last few years it's been the prisoners of war. Like no kidding, no kidding. I would love to see in the next month. Obviously Sam Hughes keep on his ascent. I want to see that Kitione Tatonga come through. I think he can make his mark. I want to see some hard running forwards, like who he's got in the reserves. Like, I know he's playing on the weekend and he's won the high scoring game, but anyone there that tickles the fancy.
Actually, they were losing by 18 points and then came back to win. So
any forwards of note they're talking up from the junior side of things that can probably make their mark in the next 2 months?
Not in the next couple of months that can come up to first grade. I'll be honest. Like, we've got Chris Patolo.
Where is Patolo these days?
He's in New South Wales Cup. I think that he will definitely be one that will come up to start it to into the first grade team. Yeah. I think he's got the size, he's got the aggression.
So you need Patolo and Katonga to really step it up.
I think there's
Sam Hughes and he can probably start going somewhere.
So the Doggies signed Zane Teravano for a year.
Oh, another prisoner of war.
Yeah, apparently rumors are that he's lost his he's done his PCL.
Oh,
so I mean you don't really feel like you've lost anything. You've never really had.
But he's taking up a cap. I mean, do you then get him out of? He's allowed to get him out of the lineup.
I don't think we are, but I don't think they're paying him much either. So
what's happening with Carl Alawapu? Is he gonna? What's going on?
So he's
that's
not
end
playing.
Up in the year, eh?
No, so he's not playing anymore this year.
He might not play again,
Depending on testing and things like that, there is a small chance he may never play again.
Small, okay. Good.
Small chance that he may never play again, but the Doggies are focused on making sure that his health comes first. He's recovering quickly, and they're supporting him in every way he can. So he's got all the support that he needs.
So it sounds like it's, as long as he follows protocol, he should be back next year.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
he's already doing light running.
He's only 19 anyway.
Yeah, he's doing
18.
light running and stuff, so he's fine.
He's only 18, 19.
I do want to point something out that I thought was interesting. The Eels had 16 offloads to our 3.
You aren't locking up the ball.
We aren't locking up the ball. That's probably a facet of the defense that we definitely need to lock up. And the other thing was that they had 25 kicks to our 16. Right? They were able to control the game so much better than we were. These are the types of things that we need to improve against the Sharks. Speaking of which, I think maybe we can have a little bit of a chat about what we think is going to happen next week.
I'd like to see an upset. I mean, I did tip Canterbury before realising who Parramatta had on their bench, and then wanted to change my tip to Parramatta. But then Elmo said, no, you've locked yourself in. So, but I'd like to see an upset down at Shark Park. Has Cronulla named any changes or anything to their lineup? Or
so Toby Rudolph comes off the bench and he's starting.
There you go. So another forward that plays state level, it comes in.
And Dale Finucane, Jack Williams, Royce Hunt, and Thomas Hazelton on the bench.
How do they have all these forwards? Someone they're not. Yeah, I thought they would start losing forwards from last year, not this year. It's not right.
Um,
That's another one. Them in Newcastle.
Yeah, and as I say, the only difference for the Doggies from last week is that Connor Tracy comes straight onto the wing alongside Stephen Crichton
Yep.
there in place of Josh Addo-Carr.
So how do you think this one's going to roll? I can tell you where I think this one's going to roll. You probably know where it's coming.
Look, I think we'll be better for the hit out. I think there will be some mistakes that we'll know how to avoid for the next game. I think we had a good game against them in the second preseason trial, even though it was a trial. But I thought we were able to keep up with them and their forwards. Do I think we're able to keep up with them again? I do.
Okay.
It will all come down to not our props. I don't think. I think it all comes down to our 6 and 7. Do they have the capability of controlling a game? Can they make the right last tackle options for this game? I'm going to say we'll win by a try, by say 6 points. That's what my heart says. My brain says that we may not be able to win this one, simply because they have Nico Hines, who is good at closing out games against bottom 8 teams.
Yeah, look, you're right about the Nico Hines part. I mean, he will really struggle if you guys just rush him. He pretty much got no answers, if you rush him. I just think that their forward pack and their depth is just going to be too much for you guys. That's where I think it's going to be one. I don't think it'll even be close. I think it'll be about, I'm being polite here, maybe 16 or 20 points. I think your backs can match more than just match their backs, but it's the forwards. Honestly, I think Canterbury's got a great 1 to 5 and a good pair of second rowers, but it's your overall forward pack and your depth and having specialist, players in those positions.
So you think we're going to lose by 20?
Yeah, 16 to 20. I think their forward pack's going to be too much for yours.
Oh, I don't think we will lose by more than 8 points. If we lose, I actually think we might.
I love for that result.
I think there's a good chance.
I'm even being polite by saying 16 to 20. I really hope it doesn't blow out because I don't want Canterbury fans to, and the morale to go down.
Oh, come on. The Dragons win one game and now he thinks he can make big calls.
No, you want to laugh? Do you know who I tipped on the weekend? I didn't tip the Dragons, I'll tell you now. I'm more than happy to log in and show you my tips.
You have no idea what you're talking about if you think the Sharks are going to put 20. If we didn't lose by 20 to the Eels, we're not going to lose by 20 to the Sharks. The Sharks aren't a better team than the Eels.
I think the Sharks are a better side than the Eels. I think they're more hungry than the Eels.
I disagree. I think that the Eels haven't won for 38 years. They didn't make the 8 last year.
Keep picking them while they're down, but yeah.
I don't think that the Eels are worse than the Sharks at all.
I think the Sharks are a lot better, but
nah, nowhere near. They're 6 and 7 of the Eels is much better than the Sharks. That's the first thing. I think the other thing is that the Eels have more, I would say, a more well-rounded team as opposed to the Sharks, where I think they're front heavy, right? And the one that always scares me in the Sharks is Britton Nakora. I think he always does really well against us.
You're still naming forwards. Like, how many forwards does this Cronulla side have? Like, this is now he just reminded me they got Britton Nakora. Is he on his way out?
No.
So he didn't end up going Warriors either.
No.
But let's just sign Adam Fanua Blake on $900K.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know who they're going to be getting rid of.
No one. Just the third-party payments.
But yeah, look, honestly, I think really for me, if you're 6 and 7 can make the right decisions, if the Dogs can make the right decisions in our fifth tackle options, I honestly think we can win handily. But I just don't think that Burton and Hutchison have it in them. That's the disappointing truth. Is I don't think Burton and Hutchison have it in them.
I think the only way Canterbury can win on the weekend if it's a stop-start sort of game. Honestly, just stop-start, ruin the momentum of any sort of momentum the Cronulla forwards try to get. I mean, there's nothing wrong in playing negative football on the weekend if he's going to get that win.
Look, if we make another 14, 15 errors, we have no chance. If we have only 35% of the ball and only complete at 65%, there's no way we win. For us to beat the Sharks, we need to be at the top of we need to be performing 90% completion, at least 50% possession. That's how we win.
I'll tell you, I like to see on the weekend, Matt Burton getting the ball, put up an absolute skyscraper, because on one side he's got Botany Bay and on the other side he's got the Cronulla beaches and the Pacific Ocean. So the wind there really swirls. And if he puts up those skyscrapers, I'll tell you now, Will Kennedy in the backs of Cronulla are going to have an absolute nightmare of a day. And tell you what, it could turn, he'll get used the ball back.
All I want from Matt Burton is to start running the ball a little bit more and start passing out to kick out and Critter and get them involved. That's what I want to see. I don't care about his kicks. He can put the kick, but he needs to pass. He needs to get involved. That's what Matt Burton needs to do. He needs to get involved. Bro, on his day, Matt Burton can be the best 6 in the game. But we haven't seen that from him, anywhere near enough.
I think he's better off receiving the ball, running onto it as he showed at Penrith, because, man, he could run when he got that ball.
Look, he can get the ball and run as a 5'8". He's got as a 5'8". You're not hindered.
I don't think he's an organizer of the side. I don't think he's an organizer.
I'm not telling him organize. I'm telling him run. There's a difference between organizing and running.
I think he's better off being on the flanks and running from there and just one out.
I mean, look at Lomax on the wing. He ran for over 200 meters against the Titans,
and he wants out.
Hey,
I'll tell you what, Burton could be just as effective.
I mean, I honestly wouldn't even mind. I know this is not going to happen. It's just a dream. But like even Burton at fullback, like I don't even think that would be a bad idea. But he doesn't have the positioning. That's his problem. But he's got the size. And look, at the end of the day, I think Matty Johns was saying. I think it may have been Matty Johns who was saying that someone like Critter needs to get his hands on the ball more often.
Oh yeah. And
I agree. And while I think Blake Taff is a decent player, I'm sort of the belief that maybe someone like Critter should be fullback. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day...
Is there any heat on Hutchison this weekend?
Nah, not yet.
At all?
Not for the first 5-6 rounds. You got to give them time. I actually think there's more heat on someone like Burton than there is on Hutchison.
I just thought Sexton would have been the better option.
I still think Sexton is the better option. I think he's the more natural number 7. I think he's got a little bit more...
He takes the ball to the line.
Yeah, he straightens up more, but I think he has a bit more creativity as well. And he's got a more fluid passing game. I think Hutchison, sometimes I feel when he like a couple of those passes went to ground, I feel like they're...
It doesn't engage the
It's a bit unnatural for him almost,
Doesn't engage the line.
But I look, it's good that we've got the options there. So, you give Hutchison a go, see how he goes. If it doesn't work, then Sexton's definitely an option.
We'll know after 6 rounds.
Look, I think as I say, we've got a bye around 8. I think that's sort of the cutoff point.
Will that be your first points of the year?
I think our first points of the year will be against the Sharks.
I'm trolling here. Good response. Good response.
Yeah, that'll be the first points will be against the Sharks. Now, who was your doggies player of the round against the Eels?
Ooh. Probably tough one. Maybe Kikau.
No. Kikau?
He just tried to get involved. He tried to make things. You could tell he was trying hard, especially in that second half. He was trying to put hits on.
I saw in the second half he was.
You could tell he was out of, he came out trying to lift up the team. Like Kurt Mann I liked. And look, Kiraz was...
He felt underdone a little bit.
Yeah, he's better than that. Like he had a decent game. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like Kiraz we're more used to. Look, all right. I'll tell you what. Who was my player of the round? Probably Blake Taff. He had a dig. He had some good classy passes, but I like the aggression that Kikau started showing in that second half.
I'll say Curran.
Curran, not a bad shout. Yeah,
I think Curran made heaps of tackles, heaps of runs, was everywhere, and he's a great buy for
And
us.
Max King tried, with
Max King was very good. Yeah.
Not much there to work with. He tried. So
we just look. The problem is we couldn't get any fluency in our attack because we kept losing the ball.
It wasn't a great game to watch. I'll be honest here.
It wasn't that great. It wasn't.
Both sides can do a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just
All right. Who was your player of the game for the Dragons?
For the Dragons. Man, Jaden Sewer set the tone in that first half.
Jaden Sewer. But I would have to say Moses Sully.
Yeah, Moses ran hard and straight. I thought you know what, mate, Jaden Sewer for me, because if you watch the game again closely, the guy was covering everywhere. On last tackle options, you'll see Sewer running across with the fullback. He was desperate for the win.
He was really, really. But I think why I like Moses Sully is I just thought that he's showing the potential and the attitude that is needed to be shown for a long time, and he was just explosive every single time he had the ball.
Yeah, I thought he could have got involved more. Look, you're right, it was explosive. I would have loved to see more involvement, but that's probably not up to him. Maybe because they were sharing the workload, and it just probably, he injected himself at the right time. Maybe that's how Flannel wanted him. Possibly. Maybe that's how Ben Hunt was directing the play.
But I'm fasting and I don't want to swear. But what the
Yeah.
is going on with Carl Flanagan and Raymond Faitala Mariner? They didn't play like that once for the Doggies. I think the last time Raymond Faitala Mariner played like that, he was still with the Warriors. And Carl Flanagan,
Not once in his. How long was he at Canterbury? 3 years.
3 years.
Not once did he play a game like that.
What was that? What was that dummy and run?
All my WhatsApp groups were just going off. Like my mate Finch was having a meltdown. Like
I mean, even his kicking seemed like he put the ball in good. Like
Raymond Faitala Mariner, if you was bumping players off him.
he played for like 80 minutes.
He was offloading and he set up a try.
He set up a try.
He almost had a second one set up.
I was like, honestly, I was sitting there watching it with.
He was running through players. Did you see? He was breaking tackles like galore.
And then he's at the Doggies. He makes 0 meters in a half.
Remember that last year,
bro?
I still remember that podcast.
I just can't. Yeah, I just can't. Honestly, I don't know what the heck's going on, but look, good on them. It's such, I don't know, it's weird because to see them doing so well.
Yeah. Look, I was happy for Tyrell Sloan to grab his first career hat trick as well.
Still had some errors in him though.
Yeah, of course. It's part of his game, I guess. He'll eventually improve on it. I want to give a good shout out to, so I don't even know his name anymore, but that guy we signed from Melbourne, the second rower.
Tom Eisenhuth?
He had a barnstorming start to the game as well with Faitala Mariner. Honestly, the only reason I'm giving him a shout out is he exceeded my expectations.
He's all right.
I thought it'd be a walkover, but
no, I don't think he.
I thought Tino you love saying his name, but Tino,
Fa'asu Malaawi?
yeah, Fa'asu Malaawi.
Fa'asu
Malaawi.
Yes.
Fa'asu Malaawi. Anyway, I thought Tino was enormous, and that's why I had him in my fantasy team, and that's why I captained him. Anyway,
Tino is, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine, and he thinks that if you were to put player to player, the best forward in the game is Tino Fa'asu Malaawi above.
I think by half time he had between 15 and 20 hit ups for about 100 and something, almost 200 meters. And then they got starved of the ball in the second half. The guy would have hit 300 to 400 meters. Ended up with about 260 and gained, but he was just, he was energizer.
It was incredible.
He need his teammates to step up though. Like,
100%.
Not on.
100%.
Like, for him to shoulder everything and put his heart out, it's not on. I think Des got maybe a few things wrong in terms of positioning players. I still think AJ Brimson's a fullback or a 5'8". He's wasted in the centres. All right, you had Forum that was out injured, and then you had your Jaden Campbell who's not in. So you had two bites at the apple to put him at 1 or 6 and still put him in the centres. And you saw sort of spark he can do. He had some dangerous runs there.
McKenna was good at fullback though. I thought he was very, very fast.
But you've seen AJ Brimson return the ball from fullback.
I agree.
And he's a gun, and he's got ball playing skills as well.
I agree.
Anyways, leave it to Des.
Yeah, I thought
your favourite player, Luciano Leilua, comes back this week.
Bro, he's just going to add so much to the Dragons.
It's a scary game because Dolphins last week was so lackluster.
What happened there?
Can you imagine walking into the sheds and facing Wayne Bennett full
What
time
happened
after
there,
a game
man?
like that?
It was good. The Cowboys played really well, but the
Dolphins were.
The Dolphins looked like they didn't want to be there. Honestly, I would have, after that Halem Lukey try, I would have hooked him. I would just let him get off. He just seemed like he didn't want to be there.
That was bad.
That was horrible.
They're still missing players as well.
But let me tell you, what about that defensive effort by Melbourne against the Panthers?
Yeah, your 3-time premiers coming in.
Unbelievable.
And you know what's they kept them scoreless. First time, and I think the last time they kept them scoreless. But what was even more impressive was I think they were missing Munster, Nelson Asafa Solomona. They were missing about half a dozen players.
No, they were the only two that were missing.
All right, but they were missing the key players, and they still kept them to 0.
It was really...
even though I thought that try was a try, but 0.
Yeah, look, either way...
They still lose. Melbourne still win.
Yeah, Melbourne still win. It was honestly remarkable
Penrith had nothing in attack. They had a lot of ball, but just had no creativity.
But if you remember last year, Panthers...
Either that or Bellamy's now just got Cleary under his thumb and he's worked him out.
I don't think so. I think
we beat him in that 20 grand final, I think. How many grand finals in a row have they made?
But if you remember last year, the Panthers started off equally slow. I thought the Panthers started off equally slow.
They lost their first 2 games, was it?
And they also lost the World Cup Challenge.
Which they lost again, something Penrith fans can never claim. They can never claim to being world champions.
Oh, just because oh my God.
Hey,
Why do I have
you're in the same boat.
Why
You've been world champions.
So
jump on the
what?
bandwagon.
Are you telling me that there's any team better than the Panthers in the world right now?
Yeah, Wigan Warriors.
Get the hell out of here, bro.
I mean, Wigan beat them.
Yeah, all right.
And St. Helens beat them last year at Penrith Stadium.
Shut up.
There you go. If you need more further evidence. At home, they beat them.
Yeah, so I think it was a good round of footy.
Don't worry, Penrith fans, I still love you.
It was a good round of footy. I think this round will be a good round. Starts off Thursday. Broncos and Rabbitohs. Who do you have for that one?
Broncos.
Broncos come back.
Yeah, Souths are lackluster.
Yeah. Sharks, Doggies. I got the Doggies. You got the Sharks.
Yep.
Panthers, Eels.
Yeah, come on, Panthers.
Yeah, I got the Panthers.
Where's the game at Penrith Park?
Uh,
Paris, or whatever they call it, Blue Points. Or
yeah,
whatever.
Blue Bet.
Blue Bet? Oh,
Yeah, Blue Balls Stadium. Raiders was Tigers.
Raiders vs Tigers. I'll go Raiders. Is Lockie Galvin not named? I thought he was good in a trial against the Dragons. He was very creative.
So apparently, hang on. Yeah. So Lockie Galvin is 6. Jaden Sullivan is 7.
Oh, Sullivan.
With Aiden Caesar on the bench.
Yeah, I would have had Sullivan off the bench. I don't know. Sullivan's just got some injuries. He's got to work on his body strength and all that.
Look,
anyway,
I'm going Tigers.
I'll go Raiders. Just, the way they beat Newcastle last week.
They played well, but
I've got to give them benefit of the down go for the Raiders. I've got to see the Tigers a few more rounds to know where they're at.
I'm just excited to see what those Tigers can do with their new purchases.
I hope they do well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I hope Lockie Galvin goes good.
Cowboys Knights.
Where's the game at?
Queensland Country Bank Stadium.
Yeah, let's go Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys by a good win. Yeah. Storm Warriors.
In where is it at?
Melbourne.
Melbourne again.
Yeah, but it'll be a good game.
This round feels like it's easier to tip than last round.
Seagulls Roosters.
Where's this game at?
4 Pines Park in Manly.
Manly. Roosters are missing Spencer. Anyone else still missing?
Jared Lauria-Hargreaves.
I'll go Manly then if they're missing both their two starting frontals.
I mean, I hate both teams, so I hope they draw.
Agreed. I hope so.
I hope they draw.
Anyways.
And Dolphins Dragons.
Sheesh. I didn't even tip the Dragons last week.
I'm going Dragons. I think they're going to continue that good performance.
Early season start.
I think they're going to continue it.
Yeah, I'll go Dragons with you in that case. It's at KO Stadium, Redcliffe's home ground. Jeez, it'll be interesting to see how Dolphins are going to bounce back and whether Dragons can maintain the rage.
I think the Dolphins will definitely be better. I just don't know how much better they're going to be. You know what pisses me off? Honestly, I have to rant about this. Sorry. We let Jake Averillo go
To sit on the bench at the Dolphins.
Not even. He's in reserves. He wasn't even playing. He wasn't in the 17.
That's bad.
Look what they've done to my boy.
Hang on a sec. How much more did Dolphins give him? 50K more?
Not even.
You guys could have given him the extra 50K. You know what? I feel now just going on, Targo's going to be the mate. So I don't understand. Penrith couldn't pay Crichton, but then now make Targo the highest paid centre. What's going on there?
Dogs pay.
Unless the papers are just inaccurate. But
of course, the papers are inaccurate. But regardless, how it's
Averillo. Wow, what a player! Who's he sitting on the bench for?
He's not on the bench. He's not even chosen in the 17.
Well, who's he missing? Besides Herbie Farnworth, who's the other centre?
Tessie New.
He's sitting outside for Tessie New
and Jack Bostock. Like what? What the hell?
Jeez, Jack Bostock could even make the Dragon side.
What the? Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave it to Wayne. Maybe the game's past him, sadly.
Maybe. In any case, thank you so much if you made it to the deep end. It's been a lovely, lovely pleasure speaking with everybody again. Dibbo, it's always a lot of fun having a chat. If you've made it this far, if you see this, please be sure to subscribe, like, do all the good things. Click the bell icon, everything else you want to do.
Leave us comments.
Yes, please leave us comments.
Please disagree with Elmo and agree with me.
And once again, Ramadan Mubarak to all. We wish this month is full of prosperity, peace, love and happiness and blessing for everybody. And we look forward to speaking to you again next week. Have a good one, guys.
Adios.